because that's right. If you qualify in October, you miss out on the bonuses and the trip and everything else. So it's important to make a run now for the next couple of months and get as close as you can to qualifying as possible, because that is obviously really, really important. Now, I will make a small caveat to that. And again, this is a lot of information, but just to understand, if you qualify 10 months of the year at 7,500, okay, there's something called volume equivalency. Okay, which means if you do the equivalent, which is about 108,000 PV over the course of the year, and you have 10 months at 7,500 points, then you also earn all the bonuses and the trip and everything else. So if you don't make it up in September, which would be my recommendation, because if you do volume equivalency, it's more volume than you have to move if you're just doing 7,500 points a month. But if you miss in September and you get up by the time November comes, then you can still qualify straight through and you can still earn the $70,000 in income plus the trip and everything else that comes along with it. So if we say, why do we want to get to 150 points? Well, a lot of people use the business, and when they get involved, and assuming you're here today trying to learn how to make money from the business and not just be a customer or a shopper or whatever, it's important to set the right tone for the people in your group. And I will tell you, having lots of teams and having studied lots of teams and looked at the numbers, people do what you do. I don't know why they do what you do, and I don't know why they know what you do, because I don't think that they go over in your shower and look and see if you have the shampoo. I mean, they might. People are weird. But I don't know that they necessarily see when you take the vitamins or know that you're putting artistry on. You could put something else on at home and come out, although we know it because you look like a catcher's mitt after a few months. But it's people know and they do what you do. So having studied lots of teams, I know when we've got the first few people in the group do 150 or 200 points a month, strangely, and subsequently, many of the people they put in after that also do 150 or 200 points a month. When we put in people who do 8 or 10 points or just simply buy the 3 or 4 products that they like or know about or got in their product bag, the people in their group do the same thing, simply because they don't have stories to talk about, they don't know much about the products. All they use is, their one favorite flavor of excess. Oh, I like that shampoo I tried that time, and I guess I'll take the daily vitamins. Great, except that's about 8 or 9 or 10 points, maybe 15 a month, and it would take 1,000 people to get to the top of the bonus scale instead of 49 others. So if you really look at it and you say, my entire goal over the next year, 6 months, whatever it is just to simply find 49 other people willing to do 150 points a month like I am. And if you break it down to those smaller bite-sized pieces, it's a lot easier to do. So we could have picked another number like 300, we could have picked 100, we could have picked 50. But 150 seemed to be a doable amount when you include some retail sales that people buy from you because you've experienced the products and have stories about them, and everything that you use personally. And that goes along with the second point, which is being 100% user of the products, okay? Now again, that doesn't mean that you use 100% of the products always, right? There may be some things that you don't use and that you don't like, and this is a short lesson on that. If there's products you don't use and don't like, do not tell people that, right? I mean, I hear people all the time like, well, I've got to be honest. I'm like, well, you're an idiot. If they ask you if you like it, then you can tell them, it's not for me or whatever, but don't volunteer the information. Does that make sense? It'd be like if you owned Kroger, right? If you owned Kroger, you would not be walking up and down the aisles following me like, oh, God, I hate that stuff. Man, that tuna's awful. Don't buy that, right? You wouldn't stop people from buying the products. There are some things at clothing stores that I see that I look, dear God in heaven, if anybody put that on, and then I see somebody go buy it, and I thought, I found the person. Okay, clearly, right? If there's a SKU in a store, somebody is buying it. Your job is not to discourage them from the flavor of excess they like. Jules likes completely different flavors of excess than I like, right? My favorite is the root beer. I drink it morning, noon, night. I don't mind. She thinks I'm crazy for one drink root beer in the morning. I think it's kind of fun that now that I'm an adult, kind of, that I can drink soda in the morning, right? I mean, that's great. It's like I was never allowed to do that before. In fact, if you know my mom, I was never allowed to have soda at all. This is me rebelling, okay? Some kids do drugs, I drink soda in the morning, right? So that was my deal. But there are 24 different flavors of excess. You will find one you like. Do not share with others the kinds that you don't like, because your least favorite will be somebody else's favorite. And that's the case. Jules dislikes the root beer the most. I like it the most. I dislike the cherry the most. That's Jules' favorite, right? So, and all points in between. So don't tell people when you don't like the popcorn. If you think the popcorn tastes like sawdust, shut up, right? Other people like the popcorn. I eat it. I like it. Other people don't like it. That's fine. We sell lots of products. And one thing you should know is that Amway, if Amway has it as an SKU on their website, it sells. And if you ever wonder why a product is going away, because people text me or call me and they're like, hey, this product's going away. What the heck? It was my fault. I'm like, you never need to ask. You never ever need to ask that question again. It's because it doesn't sell, right? They have a limited amount of space in their regional distribution centers and their warehouses, so they only keep the highest grossing SKUs. So if a product goes away, buy a lot of it because it ain't coming back, right? So it's a good time to stock up on it if you see the discontinued SKUs coming out. Good time to get a bunch of that product because it's not selling to anyone other than you. Okay, so congratulations. You like it. Clearly other people don't. Okay, so that's the deal. So important to do that, being 100% user of the products, and that goes the same for, CDs and talks, and, in Network 21, you'll have speakers that you like and resonate a lot with. You'll have other speakers that you don't like and don't resonate as much with. Don't tell the people in your group what CDs you didn't like, right? The only information you want to share with the people in your team is positive information, okay? So if you loved Massimo Bini's CD or if you loved Jules' CD from this month, tell the people in your group about it. If you didn't like my CD from this month, you're wrong, okay? But if you didn't like my CD from this month, don't tell people about it, right? That's not the time to share with them because I will tell you, when we get done with weekend seminars and things at the very end, I've got my highlights in my mind of what the best part of the weekend was, right? And then other people will come up to me and go, man, it was amazing when blah, blah, blah happened. And I'm like, really? That was the most impactful part? Oh, yeah, that was like, wow, I made my decision right when he was talking about that. And I'm going, I didn't really like when she was crying. I was kind of creeped out by it a little bit, but that's great, right? So somebody else, it was like, that was their moment. They felt the emotion. They really wanted to do it, whatever. So positive information is shared only and not negative information is shared, right? If you have any negative information to share, shut up. Okay, so no, you can tell your upline, you can tell your coach about it, and any of those people, we can help you work through it if there's anything negative, but always positive, downline, negative, upline, hopefully some positive as well, okay, because you can't take all negative. Otherwise, we stop answering your phone calls, so you wonder why I haven't answered you in a while. So 100% user of the products. What are the kind of products that we have? We're going to kind of mix through this a little bit and go through some of the products we have available here. Obviously, as I said, there's a lot more. And to get us started a little bit with the products and get some products in people's hands, we're going to do a little drawing. For those of you who are watching this online or in the overflow room, sorry, but we're going to give away some perfect packs. So each of these perfect packs, we've got 5 giveaway. They're about $110 each. So this is a really good price. It's got the Double X multivitamin, which we're going to talk about in a minute. It's got the Balanced Health fish oil, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and the concentrated fruits and vegetables all in there for the person. So the first winner of the perfect pack is 910501. Ooh. Oh, there you go. All right. We have a winner. People are begrudgingly clapping for you. They really want to be happy for you, but they're okay. The next winner is, if I can read, okay, 910494. Oh, there we go. Come on down. Pass this back to Steffi back there. There you go. Don't take it, Josh. All right, and the next winner is 910518. 518. All right, we have another winner here. Okay, hand that back. Sorry, I'm not sure. I think they'll win one of these times. You can keep it. Okay. Next one is 910497. 910497. Hey, there you go. All right. There we go. Congratulations. And the last winner, as we shake it up here, is 910509. 910509. All right. Yeah. Okay. There you go, Janos. Thank you. Okay, so the perfect pack. This is a good opportunity to talk about the Nutrilite vitamins. Obviously, Nutrilite is one of our flagship vitamins. I know there are people who say sometimes that they don't take a vitamin for whatever reason, or they don't believe in them, or they whatever. I don't really care because, and let me explain why. 60% of Amway's volume is done in Nutrilite. So here's what I will tell you. The Nutrilite vitamins will not hurt you, right? They're plant-based, they're organic, they're certified for sport, which is kind of cool. We just got a new certification by the NSF, which is pretty amazing. If you look into that a little bit more fully, you can see what that means. But it's they really do extensive testing on all the supplements to ensure that what is on the label is actually what's in the product. And as many of you know, that runs counter to what a lot of the companies that are out there sell. And I mean, there was a big lawsuit, which many of you have heard me talk about before, by the Attorney General of New York, brought against Walgreens, Whole Foods, GNC, Walmart, and Target. Okay, these are not small companies. What they found is 4 out of 5 of the supplements on the shelves of those places did not contain any of the items listed on their label. None. Okay, 4 out of 5 things at GNC have exactly 0 of what they claim on the label in their product. So if you are currently purchasing vitamins from somewhere, and studies show that somewhere between 55 and 60% of Americans do purchase supplements of some kind every month, you can know that most of those people are buying from those places: Walgreens, Walmart, Whole Foods, Target, and GNC, and they are buying products that are vastly inferior to ours. So I'm not going to go into all the time about the organic farms and the way they go into it, but it is pretty stunning. And if you ever get a chance to get out to California, we have a $200 million facility out there called the Center for Optimal Health. It's in Buena Park, California. It is amazing. And if you go there, you'll see the painstaking care they take when they're making the supplements. It actually is, we've taken people there that are no longer even really actively building the business, but they will buy Nutrilite till the day they die, which will be much later now. They will buy Nutrilite, forever, because they saw how the stuff was made. They see the care they take, and it is pretty shocking for anybody who's in the drug world or the vitamin world or whatever. You'll know it's a vast difference between ours. And here's the cool thing: anybody can tour it. They would welcome competitors. Anybody, the executives from Centrum are welcome to go walk around the Center for Optimal Health and see how they make the vitamins. And I guarantee you, they would be stunned with how much care they put into each run. If they're doing a run of vitamin C as an example, we saw them do one when we did a behind the scenes tour there. And they take you in the very back and they show you all their manufacturing facility. They show you where all of our vitamins are lined with a Canadian pine tree sap. Why? Well, because it dissolves in water and it's easy to digest. Most of the other vitamins are covered with a waxy coat or sort of a shellacky wax that, when put into our bodies, just comes right out the other side. That's graphic. But they're not digested by the people who take them, and that's why there's so much negative publicity out there about vitamins. When you ask a doctor, many physicians, when they talk about vitamins, they say, there's no reason to take that. Well, the reason is, first of all, 90% of them out there are synthetic, right? Which means they didn't come from nature. They can't interact with drugs and things that people take, and in many cases, they're never ever absorbed by the body. So many people dismiss vitamins out of hand simply because they're talking about vitamins and not what we have, which is called food supplements. Okay, it's a very different category. These are all plant-based. They're made from organic materials, and when they do a run of vitamin C, as I said before, first of all, right down to the research on when they harvest the acerola cherries in order to have